So I generally have been in a sedentary sort of job. So that has been the biggest challenge. Another challenge was that I have a really, really sweet tooth. I got to a stage where I could feel that if I smell food, I can just put on with that. But then, because I had three miscarriages after my son, that sort of started playing up on my mind, and then I would just eat randomly. So I was 90.3 kilos and now I am 65.8, and I think it's taken me with the break. So I don't remember all of it, but from what I remember, 90, and then I got up till 85, 84. I remember 84. So there were some weights from 90, like 87, 86. So I don't even remember seeing it on the weighing scale. I just can, all those outfits that I've kept in the closet, packed, thinking I'm never going to fit into them, definitely it boosts my confidence and it just makes me feel good. Half of my family is surprised. How did you manage to lose all this weight? And they would be like, some people would have some reactions like, oh, बहुत सूख गई है.
How
Yeah.
are you? Aarti?
I'm good. How do I look?
You're looking very nice. You're looking like your own
Thank
daughter.
you. Oh, like my daughter, like my own daughter.
Yeah, your own daughter.
Yeah,
So,
nice. Thank you.
Aarti, your journey has been incredible with us since the start till now. Especially your nutritionist Shubham has always been in touch with me. He kept on giving me inputs and how your transformation journey was going on all this while. Before we get into the numbers, like at what weight we started and where are we
Yeah.
now, I would like to first understand a little bit about your background.
So I generally have been in a sedentary sort of job. So that has been the biggest challenge. Another challenge was that I have a really, really sweet tooth. I got to a stage where I could feel that if I smell food, I can just put on with that. I have been generally a healthy person, but then because I had three miscarriages after my son, that sort of started playing up on my mind, and then I would just eat randomly, and you know how the hormones are all over the place and you're not able to control it, and you keep thinking that what am I doing wrong and where things are going wrong, and all of that stress. Also, there were lots of changes and things happening in life, which happens in everybody's life. But how to deal with that and how to not sort of indulge into overeating was a challenge which I was facing. And because of that one reason, I have been putting on weight. Fortunately, with God's grace, I got pregnant the second time after all the three miscarriages. And that was the time when I did not want to diet or watch what I was eating, because I was so emotional and so superstitious that I was thinking, no, I think I need to eat anything and everything that I feel like eating, just so I get through this properly. And yeah, fortunately, we were blessed with a daughter and it was all fine. But post my second pregnancy,
I'll interrupt. So your daughter is the first child.
no, second.
Okay, so after your first pregnancy, the three miscarriages happened.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
In my first pregnancy, also, like hereditary wise, we tend to put on during pregnancies in my family. So I did put on when I had my older child, but then I managed to lose all of that weight. And then this whole cycle sort of started. I think it was a mix of stress and everything that was happening at that time. So after my second pregnancy, the delivery and everything went all right, but then I just couldn't manage to lose that weight. It was getting really hard. So obviously, with two kids, it's not easy. Plus, I was working full time. I had a busy lifestyle, social pressure, constantly people like. Even though I would start watching what I'm eating, I would get worried about what people are going to say, because they would be like, oh, are you trying to be good? Oh, are you trying to lose some weight? And that would sort of build another pressure on me, even though I knew that that was something that I need to do because it's for me and I should be able to block. these comments, but
I
for
would
some
I would
reason,
like to go a little bit deeper here and just try to understand a little bit more about the mindset. So you say when people are trying to tell you that are you trying to be good, what does that statement means?
if somebody offers you food and then you say that no, I'm good, in a polite way you're trying to say that okay, I don't want to eat that because I'm trying to be good with my diet or my health and stuff. So that's when people would comment to me saying that are you trying to be good, are you watching what you're eating, and those. So they don't directly sort of ask you are you going on, are you doing some diet. They will just be like, oh, you want to be good, oh, you're watching what you're eating, those sort of things. So that would kind of build pressure. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I was not able to block those sort of comments or those reactions that I was getting from people. One of the reasons was this. And then I did manage to lose like 4, 5 kilos. And then I would put that back on, like in a course of time.
And how you used to do that? That 4 or 5 kilos of reduction?
Maybe give up sweets or just eat less or do a little bit of exercise. So every time, because I was based in New Zealand at that time, and we would get summer like only for 3 months. So go for walks or do something like that, some sort of activity. And it would help at that time. Also, when I lost I had lost about quite amount, substantive amount of weight after my first pregnancy, and at that time I had followed a diet nutrition plan, which worked at that time. I don't know what had gotten into me, but I was super focused, and I was just on the diet for like 8 months, and I had lost all of that excess weight. And obviously, because the diet and the notes and everything, the plan and everything was there with me. So I was trying to do that the second time round too. And I thought that I will be able to do it, but my body had some other ideas and then it wouldn't work. Like it would work. And that's when I would lose like 4, 5 kilos, but it wasn't a sustainable diet. Nothing that.
Would you like to tell me a little bit more about that kind of a diet? Like what was it? What exactly was being given to you in that plan?
It was more of a protein based diet, which was good. But there were a lot of restrictions in terms of how much you eat. And because I'm a vegetarian, I had only a couple of protein options. So it was a diet, local diet, which I had gotten from New Zealand. So they were looking at, it was not catered to Indian palate. It was more about you can just come up with your own continental sort of food items based on whatever's available in supermarkets. So they would give you like what sort of bread you can eat or what type of cheese you can have. And there were quantities or grammages that were given. So I had to literally, and I did that at that time. I had to literally measure it and put it away in the freezer, or every meal that I was having, I would measure it and I would eat only that much for the day. And I had to drink like about 3 liters of water and obviously no other things like you cannot have sweets. There were quite a few restrictions. And I managed to do that at that time, maybe because I was just pretty young. Also, my body metabolism would have been high. And maybe I had all of that time. I don't know how I did it, but I did it at that time. But after my second pregnancy, it wasn't happening because managing 2 kids, the lifestyle, the social lifestyle, the full-time job, and also doing other things like activities for my older son and then having to drop my younger one somewhere. I did not find the time to actually prepare those meals for the week. And I think that's where it was sort of hindering. So I would lose a little bit, but then it wasn't a sustainable diet. That's what I would say. It wasn't working at that time. So yeah. And then I just was with all of that excess weight for all this while. Like my daughter is 9-year-old now. So I would say probably I started with you when she was 8 or almost 7.5 or 8. So for almost 8 years, I just carried that weight with me. So it would fluctuate, but not a lot, just like 3 or 4 kilos here and there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And now it's new me.
Yeah, the best part about your journey is that in the start, I remember I took your consultation, and
Yes.
for training purposes, I recorded that consultation. I will have to find out. I think that recording is there somewhere in my system, but I just have to figure out where it is. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be very inspiring for people because they will get to see the end-to-end journey. Because I remember the conversation with you in the start when you told me that, Yash, I'm not sure if this is going to happen because I think you also were a vegetarian and there were certain limitations and there were many restrictions also that you initially spoke about.
Yeah.
So you were
Yeah.
very, very skeptical. And I remember that conversation vividly that you were not sure if this transformation is going to take place or not. But here you are. So congratulations to you and all the hard works that you have done till now. Now I would
Thank
like
you.
to jump onto the numbers to kind of make people understand that what a massive transformation it has been.
Okay. So I was 90.3 kilos and now I am 65.8. And I think it's taken me, with the break, considering the break that I took in between, I think just about over a year.
Fair. And how much was that break duration?
I think 2 or 3 months. I
Okay.
don't remember very vividly, but then I remember not doing anything. Absolutely, not even being in touch with you guys at that time.
Now, Aarti, the original agenda behind keeping this meeting a little unconventional is basically I wanted you to answer a couple of things that my customer asked me. So,
Yeah.
a lot of time people have this assumption that if they are a vegetarian, I think which you are, right? You're a vegetarian, right?
Yes. Yes.
A lot of time people have this misconception that because I'm a vegetarian, my diet is deficient in nutrient, which is true, and hence I will not be able to lose body fat. Now you have done this massive transformation, so I would want you to kind of speak about this particular notion that whether it is true or not, and if it was not true because you have done the transformation, then how was the entire journey for you being a vegetarian?
I am a vegetarian, so I'll just say that. But in saying that, I also want to add that even though I have eaten egg and I do eat egg, I'm very picky and I can eat it only in certain forms. So there was a phase when I did not want to eat egg at all. So literally, like there was a time when I would tell Shubham that please any recipe without egg because I don't feel like eating egg. So anybody who's listening and if they want to sort of understand that if I'm a vegetarian, then for a little while, yes, I was a complete vegetarian and not having egg too. uh, it is possible. There are a lot of proteins that are available in our vegetarian food. You don't feel hungry at all. Like I would feel full after eating all the food. So I don't think it's anything to do with vegetarian or what sort of diet you follow. I think it's more about being cautious of what you're picking and what sort of foods are you eating first when you start your meal. I think that made a lot of difference.
True. See, now that you are also on the same page as most of my customers, because 85%, 90% of my customers are moms, and
Mm.
they all come with the similar challenges that, yes, after pregnancy, our life has got changed dramatically. And this is something that I've seen in my profession a lot, where, see, understand one thing that I'm not trying to be stereotype, but for a woman, beauty matters. So they always come up to me and they say, you know what, after marriage and after pregnancy, my life has got changed dramatically. Now I no more look the same. Now I no more aspire to look the same because I think it's not going to happen. I have seen people around me who have tried multiple things and nothing has worked out for them. And they
Mm.
always have this notion. They always kind of subconsciously they have given up that it's not going to work out. They will never be able to lose body fat. And they always come up to us in a way they challenge us that, you know what, I have already tried 20 things. They have not worked out for me. I'm sure that this is not also not going to work out for me. But let me give you a fair try of 3 months, 4 months. But in your case, it took 1 year, but it worked out. So tell me a little bit
Yes.
that part also. Like after pregnancy, what was what was your thought process before you gotten into this regime? That were you also on the same page कि ये कभी होने वाला नहीं है, and then it got changed and it changed your perspective, or you somewhere deep in your conscious brain believed that it will happen and let's get started with it? What was it in your mind?
Uh, I will have to accept that, yes, I believe that this is not going to happen. I still somewhere have that feeling that maybe I can never go back to what I was in my university days or in a certain size or in a certain size of clothes that I would have ever imagined. But I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you how my journey started with you guys, to be honest. The reason why I first contacted you, I was just like everybody else, just going through the reels on Instagram, sitting in my lounge and just having a look. And I was having a cup of coffee, and I stumbled across a reel of Askknatural. And somebody had, I think, tagged you all or something like that. And then I started listening to your podcast, but it was a radio station, and that's where when you were talking to her, and that sort of that conversation that you were having with her, I was very inspired by that, and I was like, I maybe there is some hope. And that's how I actually contacted you and I spoke to you. And I was like, I want to do this. But remember, my first conversation with you was exactly the same thing. Will this happen? Is this actually going to work? Because it doesn't feel like it's going to work. And you said, nahi, hoga, hoga. And, that sort of confidence and that trust that you showed, that made me, even though I was feeling ki, shayad nahi hoga. But then I was like, no, I want to give this a chance and I want to try and do this. And you never know, what if I come out on the brighter side, which I did. So that is where it all initiated. So I would only say that, it is hard. It's not easy to lose all this weight. It is not at all easy to sort of change your lifestyle and start thinking and doing the right things for yourself. But once you get onto that journey, it's not an impossible thing.
Very well said. Very well said. In fact, this is actually going to be a very inspirational message, at least for everyone, at least for all those artists who are currently at 90.3 kgs. So thank you for mentioning that.
Definitely. I mean, anybody and even one person gets inspired. I mean, I would want them to sort of. I think it's hard, because lifestyle, that once you have children, you have a family, it is a hard lifestyle. You don't like I was one of those. I did not like change. I did not want to start something which was very drastic and stop what my old habits were, even though I knew that they were not the right habits, that were not working out for my body. But still, it was just the mindset, and it's that little thing where you have to sort of push yourself a little bit. And I tried doing that on my own, but I think having a nutritionist and somebody like you guys, or a institution or a organization or whoever, to just guide you through it. So they don't do the job for you, but they guide you and they are with you in your journey. And that makes a lot of difference. You just sort of start feeling that you're not alone in this.
True.
Okay, there were times when I've also put on or I've not lost any weight. And there were weeks like that too. And I would go back to, like, when I would have my call with Shubham, I would be like, Shubham, it's not moving. And I'm fed up of seeing the same weight on the weighing scale continuously for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And he would be like, don't worry, just keep doing and it will come down. It will come down. And to my surprise, like, honestly, when I was in my 80 kgs, I thought 60 impossible. It's impossible. Maybe even if I get till 70, I'll be happy. When I got to, and then, I started getting greedy. I was like, oh, if I can reach till 80, then let's aim for 70. Then when I reached 70, I was like, oh, I can reach for, let me aim for 60. And that also, like Shubham picked up on that. Okay, she is wanting to do that. And let's keep, let's be focused and keep going. The change will happen. And it did happen. It did happen.
Yeah, so I had one question written for you about this particular point also, because people always expect that, I should lose with an average of 3 kg per month. So in a span of 10 months, I should be losing 30 kilos.
Mhm.
Do you think transformation is linear or it is non-linear? Because you just vividly said that sometimes you were not losing, sometimes there was plateau, and then apparently you then start losing it again. So just highlight this particular point a little bit more in detail, because it is extremely crucial for everyone to understand that it's a non-linear journey.
Yes, it is. It is a non-linear, and see, because everybody's body also reacts differently, and I think, because I don't know, but I'll talk about myself. I wouldn't want to eat the same thing all the time. And every food that you eat or every meal that I was eating was reacting differently with my body. Also, at the time, the amount of sleep and the amount of other things that are happening in the background, those would also matter. And these are all normal things that keep going on in life. Let me just get through this, keep doing what I need to keep doing, and then I'll come out on the other side.
True. So, Aarti, what I wanted to understand from this non-linear question is that starting from 90, what were the weights where you felt कि अभी stuck हो गया, अभी ये हिल नहीं रहा है?
So I don't remember all of it, but from what I remember, 90, and then I got up till 85, 84. I remember 84. So there were some weights from 90, like 87, 86. So I don't even remember seeing it on the weighing scale. It just skipped very quickly. But once I got to 84, it wouldn't move. And that's when I was like, that's it. This is the magic is sort of wearing off now. Abhi, it's not going to go down anymore. But then from 84, then I think from what I remember, it was 79. The number 7. And I'm not saying it happened immediately, but it started like sort of reducing. And obviously, I don't remember that time very well, but I remember seeing 79 on the weighing scale. And the day when I saw 79.8, even though it was closer to 80, I told Shubham, and Shubham is like, oh, that's good, because now we can see the 7 number. I was like, no, but we can still see 79.8, and that's still like almost 80. He's like, no, keep going, it will go down. So from 79, I think 76 was another very hard phase. I wouldn't go down from 76, I think only up till 75 or 74. 75 from what I remember. And there was a time when I went to 75 and then I came back on 76. And then 73 again. So on an average, I would say every 3 to 4 kilos, I was sort of seeing that little bit of plateau. I wouldn't say a lot, but after every 3 to 4 kgs, I would see constantly for 2.5 weeks, I would have the same weight. And then it would start coming down. Then I think from 73, it was 71. Also, I was there for a very long time. Then I came down to 69. 69 was also for quite some time. And I remember 66.6. Oh my gosh, this weight would just not move. And this was in recent times. And I kept telling Shubham, this is like the devil's number. It's just not moving. 666. I'm fed up of seeing 666 on the weighing scale. He's like, it's okay. It will move. It will move. And just couple of weeks ago, I actually touched 63.9. But I've put on a little bit because I've been naughty, and this was like my grace period that I had discussed with Shubham, that I was like, I'm going to have visitors over. Even if I try to, watch what I'm eating, it's not going to work because there is going to be a lot of outing going on. So, yeah, that's how I've been. Yeah, the
Yeah.
weight has been moving.
Understood, understood. So now, Aarti, now that your transformation have happened from some 25 kilos of body weight, which was actually massive transformation, what was the impact of this transformation on three people? Number one, on yourself. Number two, on your confidence. And number three, on your family.
On me, massive, because I mean, I just can all those outfits that I've kept in the closet, packed, thinking I'm never going to fit into them. I was able to, and I'm somebody who likes dressing up. So being able to wear all those clothes, definitely it boosts my confidence and it just makes me feel good. Like when people started giving sort of a benchmark, oh, I walked like 2 kilometers. And I'm like, now I can sort of relate to it and I can think, okay, 2 kilometers. Yeah, I can do this. This is it. I have done this. Initially, when I was 90 kgs, 10 steps, even if I would take 10 steps, I would be like, oh, I don't know how these people run. I don't know how these people walk. Will I ever be able to do that? So, yeah, definitely, I feel good about myself every time I see myself in the mirror, or just normally also. Like, I'm swift in my actions, I'm swift in my movement, and that makes me feel good. Like every time I'm bending down, getting up, I'm not like, it doesn't give me that growing up or older feeling. Let's that then confidence, definitely that boosts your confidence. I mean, I think anybody who needs a boost in their confidence, they should just work on their overall health and it will just give them a boost. It just feels that if I can do this, I can do anything, because this is the hardest. I feel this is losing weight is the hardest. That's what I've always felt. So definitely, yeah, reaction of the family, very good. They half of my family is surprised. How did you manage to lose all this weight? And they would be like, some people would have some reactions like, oh, bahut sukh gayi hai. Like you already, like, those were also the reactions. But at the other time, like my husband, he just thinks that I'm a new me completely. Kids are happier, and my son doesn't react much, but he's just, have you lost weight? And I'm like, are you only noticing it now? But he's a teenager, so he doesn't speak much. So even that sort of reaction from him was quite a lot. My daughter is like constantly around me, and she's telling me, "You're doing so well, mommy. You're doing so well. You're looking so good now." So yeah.
So it was very interesting to understand the mindset of somebody who has done it, because I am somebody who cannot associate with feeling of somebody who has ever gained body weight, because I've never gained body weight ever in my life. But
Oh, you're one of those lucky ones.
yeah, but then again, at the same time, I have seen my customers or people around me. For them, it is always a big deal to lose body weight, and there is something more that I've understood of late, is that India's 93% of the population is overweight. 97% of the population is overweight in some or the
Mhm.
other form. One need to understand that whenever you get into any kind of weight loss journey, it's not going to be a piece of cake. Some efforts are definitely going to require. Otherwise, then this world will be obesity free. And when somebody come and ask me, what, Yash, you to tell me how much fat am I going to lose in a span of in a span of 6 months? And I always tell them that if I would know the answer, I would be the richest person on the planet, because that's exactly what the entire world is searching for right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So speaking about mindset, Aarti, there is one more thing that people often keep on asking me about, is that yes, I can transform, and it's not difficult, but I need somebody to constantly push me. Now, before you start speaking, let me tell you one more thing. I am somebody who do not believe on the fact that if somebody will start pushing you, you will lose body fat. I think that's not the right way to go about it. That self-driven mentality, that warrior mentality, is innately required into somebody. I feel inspiration is bigger than motivation. So motivation
Yeah.
will just stay with you for 4 days, 5 days. But if you're inspired from inside, then that will stay with you for long run. I have never seen somebody in my life whom I have pushed and they have transformed. Not
Hmm.
even one case. I think, yeah, of course, some basic guidance, some basic
Yeah.
pumping sometimes required, basic, but at the same time, that drive should have to be innate. Now, your
Yes.
journey was not a 3 month, 4 month journey, which we could say, chalo, motivation tha to ho gaya. It was a 1+ year journey. So, of
Yeah.
course, you had something bigger than motivation. So, just wanted to know your take on, did you require push, or was it something that was coming from inside?
I needed trust more than push. I would put it that way. Yes, it has to come from within. So I did want to make change in the way I appeared and my entire body health, like being building up my stamina and all of that. But there are many other things also to be that you can do. It Nutrition is one part of it, but then people would tell me just join a gym, do this, start yoga, or do Pilates, or do something else, and you will start losing weight. But it's not. How do I say this, that yes, you do need to feel that from inside that you want to do this for yourself. And I remember your first question was, why do you want to do this, Aarti? I remember that very well. And for some reason, my answer, I remember that I wanted to do it for my family, for my kids. I wanted to be active. I wanted to do things with them while I still can. And the only thing that was stopping me was my weight. And that's where maybe that was from within that I wanted to do that transformation. But the reason why I said about trust is I wanted to do it, but I needed somebody who would show that trust in me to tell me that, Ati, this can be possible. Don't give up. You feel that it might not happen, it might not show initially, but this will happen. And this is what I needed, somebody like you guys, specifically you. Like, I remember that first call you told me, it will happen, just believe in it and keep going.
Yeah. And you know what? In my consultation format also, so Ask Natural is just a service industry or basically a service-based company. But over here also, people are not just independently using their brain. There is a fixed protocol that everybody will have to follow.
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
protocol is being designed by me. And starting from consultation format, there is something very categorically I have mentioned. Always and always ask, why do you want to do it?
Mm.
This tells us whether the person will transform or not.
Yeah.
So if somebody is giving me a very flimsy reason that, you know what, शादी आ रही है, उसके लिए
Mm.
I'm doing it, then that's where you realize that drive is not that massive. But if
Mm.
somebody is telling you that, you know what, I cannot play around my kids, I'm just
Mm.
heavily demotivated. I hate being into my body right now. My energy levels are
Mm.
not efficient. These are the big reasons to take such massive actions. So that's where this question comes from. Like, why do you want to do it? Because ultimately,
Yeah.
everybody need to understand that this is more like a school culture where just taking admission is not enough. You also have to read. You also have to
Yeah.
then only it will work out for you. And see again, I think eventually now you'll start having a lot more control on your hormones than compared to things that you have done in the past. Because see, in the start of the conversation you mentioned that before us you have done some diet and some 5-6 kg lost happened, and then after that you gained it back again. I did not
Yeah.
interrupt at that time only because I wanted to cover this topic towards the end of our discussion, which we have arrived on. Is that
Mm.
see, understand one thing. Earlier, what you were doing was a calorie deficit diet, and I'm sure you have been with Shubham for more than a year, so he must have given you all the information about calorie deficit. But just for the
Yeah.
people who are here and watching this video for the first time, calorie deficit diet in a nutshell, if I just have to give you a witty example, imagine you have a lot of cockroaches in your room. Instead of doing pest control, you demolish the
Okay.
building. So this is what calorie deficit is. So you are actually causing a big loss just to gain a very little out of it, because you are
Mm.
putting yourself in a starvation mode. Of course, the
Yes.
fat loss is going to happen. Of course, the cockroaches will die, but you will kill other aspects also, other essential things also into your body, which includes your muscles, your hormones,
Mm.
multiple things. And see, there are so many things which, I mean, of course, all of us are not neurologists, but if you look at people from a very microscopic lens, the kind of IQ, the kind of attentiveness they have, the thought clarity they come up with, things they remember, brain fogging, everything tells you about their current hormonal
Yeah.
status. And
Yeah.
hormonal status is deeply intertwined with what you're eating.
Yes.
I'll give you one exercise, Aarti. I'm sure that Shubham has given you L-carnitine into your diet. So if you have L-carnitine and talk to somebody, the thought clarity will be completely different because
Mm.
L-carnitine directly gets into your brain within no time. So this is how it works. Your hormones, your thoughts, your mood, anxiety, everything is closely intertwined with your food and
Yeah.
hormones. And hence, you will see that there are some people who will cry even if they break their water bottle. And then there are some people who would not cry in a funeral also. So,
Yeah.
this difference in behavior comes from hormones, and hormones are manufactured out of food. So, that's
Yes.
why I'm saying that now you will have a lot more control on your hormone compared to what it was, because earlier, all the raw material that required to manufacture hormones was not being given to your body. Now it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Agree with that. And I'll add to that I have all of those right foods, but now I know what are the right foods. Because the all these options were always there in front of me, but I would just not reach it or I would just not eat them because I had no knowledge. So it wasn't just about following the nutrition plan, blindly. Okay, Shubham ne bola to bas just keep doing this and eat that. But he would also take a little bit of time to explain how it's going to function, what it's going to do. So every time, even now, like if I am in a social function or if I'm going out for the evenings, if there is like a cheese platter and there are chips, I know I should be reaching to the cheese platter because that is going to be good for me and it's still going to fill me. That doesn't mean that I cannot have one chip because that's not going to so you know picking the right food wisely is what has helped, and understanding what food is going to do
You
and help
understood.
me.
You understood the nutrition now. By this
Yeah.
chip and cheese ka example, I could now say that you understood the nutrition. because it is
Yeah.
exactly how we also as a nutritionist manage. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Aarti, for saying this.
Thank you.
And it was lovely chatting with you, and I look forward to connect with you once again.
Sure, definitely.
Take care. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye bye.